Okay, folks, today we are at Geauga Park District's Observatory Park, an astronomical station. Now, the astronomical station is basically at night, but there are some other really cool things here, and we are going to go exploring. We are not here with Lucy today. We're waiting until hopefully she gets a little healthier to bring her out and about. Let's see what Mrs. found. Welcome to Observatory Park. Straight ahead, the Central Plaza is where you will find the Robert McCulloch Science Center and the Observatory Observatory, which houses a Newtonian reflector telescope with a huge 2.5 mirror. Now that actually won't be open for us today, but there is also a neat thing. That could be. Maybe we can. And they do have pavilions, picnic tables, so you can picnic at this park. And as you can see, fall has totally arrived. The leaves have all fallen. So, this is what I wanted to show you. Zoom this in. And that is, I forget what Mrs. said that is, but I thought that was really cool. Compass Rose. So we found an interesting looking triangular thing. We aren't really sure what it is and don't see a sign telling us. And I don't know if it has to do with the telescope or the weather station or none of the above. But if any of you all know what it is, leave a comment in the comment section and tell us about it. Are those birdhouses? They got some birdhouses there by the spinny thingy. So we're gonna go on. I think you all want to watch this whole video today because I think we're gonna find all kinds of cool stuff. So now we found a a thing with the full moon, and then this is the stages of the moon. You got a waxing gibbous. Shout out to Sky. Oh wow! I will put her Great Lake Skywatcher, or I will put a link to her channel and the thing. She's a great channel to watch. I probably screwed it up, but now we got the first quarter, a waxing crescent, new moon, which is totally black. The sun is making it hard for me to see what I'm filming. Waning crescent. I don't know. Last quarter. Waning gibbous. I never knew. I knew like quarter moon, full moon, half moon. I didn't know about, I've seen it, but I never knew that's what it was called. So this is really interesting. And then the full moon. And there are buildings, but as I said, they're only open for special events, so we can't get into them today, unfortunately. But we're still going to be able to learn a lot of stuff. See, like there's the Science Center. And who knows, someday we might get to some of the, because they're only open for special events. Yeah, but, and over here we got the Weather and Seismic Station. Now, they only have the telescope open at night too, because then you can see the stars. Weather and Seismic Activity Station. Look up. Weather instruments are mounted on top of this building. This station reports its measurements online to help formulate forecasts and record data for climate studies. Current weather measurements are shown on the screens above, along with cloud observations from weather satellites. Past earthquakes. Dozens of small June 10th, 2/19 earthquake, magnitude 4.0. This was the strongest earthquake in northeast Ohio since the magnitude 4.5 earthquake below Ashtabula on something. That goes way too fast for me to read. But we had one last year that I'm not sure what level it was, but we felt it at our house. And there's one of the weather measuring gizmos on top of the building. And we have a constellation globe here. Did you know there are 88 constellations recognized worldwide? Many since ancient times. Constellation stars differ in size, composition, age, temperature, and distance from the Earth. That's on the Science Center. I don't know if those are measuring the wind or what exactly those things are, because it is very windy here today. And as Mrs. said, it could be generating power. Hopefully one of these days I'll know when some of the stuff is going on and we can get you here for those. Oh, they got a bee house, babe. We have one similar to this at our house. But, and a Girl Scout troop put that in.
Roman god of the underworld.
Pluto. Yeah. Pluto was discovered in 1930 and formally classified as the 9th planet in our solar system. Based on new discoveries, though, Pluto was reclassified by the International Astronomical Unit as a dwarf planet in 2006. What is a dwarf planet, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Dwarf planets are round objects that orbit the sun on stretched elliptical paths crossing the orbits of other objects. Pluto is one of many dwarf planets in a region called the Kuiper Belt. The discovery of Pluto's neighbors led to this reclassification. Neptune, Roman god of the sea. And unfortunately, the thing that would tell you how much you weigh, well, it does tell you on Neptune, if you weighed 225 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh 256.5 pounds on Neptune. Neptune is a large gas planet, bigger than Earth, but not as dense. The gravity on Neptune is 1.14 times the gravity on Earth. If it were possible to stand on this surface, you would be just a little heavier. They have these stone pillars or whatever you want to call them here. Not totally sure what they're representing. We might find out at this sign. I like this park. There's lots of signs. You know me and signs. So let's see what this is about. Shaped earth and standing stones. Ancient connections to the cosmos. Ancient astronomers were keen observers of the sky, both night and day. And what the heck is that word? Astronomy? Achioastronomy? Mrs. says, sure. Is the exciting science that engages archaeologists, astronomers, and anthropologists in lively debate of past civilizations, astronomical knowledge revealed by their ancient earthworks, henges, megaliths, upright stones, pyramids, temples, and other structures. So I guess these would be considered megaliths, and they have a picture of the what is that, Stonehenge over in England, and the earthworks from 1600 to 2100 years ago. Various native peoples of the Great Lakes, Midwestern, and Deep South regions participated in a highly energized cultural force known as the Hopewell tradition. Hallmarks of the Hopewell include Ohio's geometric earthworks that enclosed burial mounds. The sprawling Newark earthworks have perfectly shaped earthen enclosures with openings aligned to the winter solstice sunrise and the northernmost moonrise during the 18.6-year lunar cycle. Some of the paths are paved, some are dirt like this, and they do have benches for people to sit and rest on. And we'll be back. And here we have a Great Pyramid replication, not to scale size. This structure represents the actual size of one of the four corners of the Great Pyramids of Giza. As you look across the field to the other three corners, imagine the size of this extraordinary structure. And I don't actually see, oh, one is way out there. I don't know that I can get that on the camera. And I don't even know where the other one is. But within the Great Pyramid, a small northern-facing shaft is aligned with Thuban in the constellation Draco. It was believed to provide passage for the pharaoh's spirit to travel from his tomb to his place among the ever-visible stars in the north sky, where he would join them as immortals. At the time of the ancient pyramid builders, Thuban was the closest star to the celestial North Pole and a symbol of immortality because it never left the night sky. And they have grass trails that just look like it goes into like nature areas and that, which at this time of the year probably isn't that great. So, but I wanted to point out that they do have those. And I mean, you can see how, just picture this in the summer, spring and summer, and that it's probably really beautiful. So basically, this whole field here would have been the pyramid, the size of the pyramid, and I mean, that just be freaking huge. I've never been over to Egypt or where the pyramids were, but I could just imagine what those look like. Well, I guess some of them are considered, what is that, the great wonders of the world or something like that. Seven, yeah. I think the pyramids are considered one of the seven wonders of the world. I don't know. So here is another one of the four corners of the pyramid. And as I said, the one we were at is way up there. And I'm still not seeing the other two corners. Oh, the holy Toledo. I think way up there is one of the other corners. And where the third corner is, I don't know. But we're going to see if we can find it.
Lectures or something in these areas?
They might. They have all kinds of different programs. We're coming up to something, and I'm not totally sure what it is, but again, another sign. They have tours. They have like night programs where you can look at the stars through the telescope, and it's one of 7 in the world. Here we go. Uranus, Greek god of the sky. Yeah, does this one work? Yes, it does. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you would weigh 177.2 pounds on Uranus. I think we'll move to, yeah. Uranus is bigger than Earth, but not very dense, so its gravitational pull is less, 0.90 times the gravity of Earth's. If it were possible to stand on its surface, you would be just a little lighter. And average temperatures on Uranus are minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll pass on moving there. Uranus was discovered by William Herschel in 1781. He and his sister Caroline hand-built their own equipment and made many other discoveries as a team. So here is the third of the 4 corners of the Great Pyramid. Kathy can't figure out how there's 4. She gets it now. So, yeah. Tell you what, it just amazes me. The Great Pyramid is one of the most remarkable structures ever made in its design and construction. Revel at R-E-V-E-A-L. How do you pronounce that, honey?
Pronounce what?
R-E-V-E-A-L.
Revel.
Revel Advanced Mathematics, outstanding workmanship, and an astronomically influenced system of measurement. 40 stories high, it is comprised of more than 2 million pieces of limestone and granite, each averaging 2 to 3 tons, and its base covers 13 acres.
Wow.
For the first 3,000 years or so of its history, the Great Pyramid was encased in brilliantly polished limestone, a dazzling sight in the sun. I could just imagine what it looked like, and just amazes me.
So you couldn't even see the seams.
Its slabs were fitted together with joints so fine they could scarcely be seen. However, its medieval times, the limestone was stripped off to build palaces and mosques in Cairo, leaving the rough building blocks exposed. Well, that's a shame. So we found another one of these. So seriously, if y'all know what this is about, let us know, whether it's a weather or space or what, because I have no clue and we can't see what it is. I do see an electrical wire hooked up to it, so I don't know.
25 times the mass of Earth, but not very dense. 1.08 times the gravity.
Saturn, Roman god of architecture.
They're heavier on Saturn. Not a lot, though. About 12 pounds difference.
So how much would you weigh on Saturn? Saturn is 95 times the mass of Earth, but not very dense. The gravity on Saturn is only 1.08 times the gravity on Earth. If it were possible to stand on its surface, you would be just a little heavier. So if you weighed 150 pounds on Earth, you'd be 159.6. And the average temperature in Saturn is negative 218 degrees Fahrenheit. So I still don't want to go there. Although all the gas giant planets have rings, none are as large or as visible as Saturn's. Its rings are made up of ice and dust that reflect the sun's light, adding to the planet's brightness. A day on Saturn, or one rotation of the planet, takes only 11 Earth hours. However, it takes Saturn almost 30 Earth years to orbit the sun. Saturn's small moon, Definus, passes between the rings. It makes waves in the ring material as it orbits orbits Saturn. I don't know if you can see that on the picture or not, but that's really cool. So now we're at Jupiter, chief among the Roman gods.
Wow.
Oh, geez. No, thank you. How much would you weigh on Jupiter? Jupiter is the most massive planet in our solar system. Therefore, its gravitational pull is the most intense. Gravity on Jupiter is 2.5 times what it is on Earth. If it were possible to stand on its surface, you would more than double your Earth weight. Turn the dial, blah, blah, blah. If you were 125 pounds, you'd weigh 316 pounds. Yeeks. And the average temperature is 162 degrees Fahrenheit, which I still don't want. Jupiter's swirling atmosphere whips up many storms. The Great Red Spot is larger than Earth and has lasted for centuries. Jupiter has at least 80 moons. Its fourth largest, Europa Ganymede, which is larger than the planet Mercury, and Callisto. And there's a picture of the moons. Earth's rocks in Geauga County. Our first imports from Canada. Glaciers of the last ice age originated in Canada, where ice picked up igneous and metamorphic rocks from a region known as the Laurentian Shield. Boulder Beauty. The mineral content of erratics can produce some colorful rocks. Feldspar gives a whitish or pinkish hue, quartz adds a gray color, and hornblende and mica, high in iron and magnesium, pepper granite with dark flecks. Typically, erratics have been jumbled against each other, ground against bedrock, and tumbled in raging torrents of meltwater, resulting in rounded edges. And there is the picture. If you all are wondering why it got really dark all of a sudden, look at that cloud. The asteroid belt. From the beginning of our solar system, asteroids named for their star-like appearance, aster, comes from the ancient Greek for star, are too small to be considered planets. They are rocky metallic fragments left over from the formation of our solar system about 4.6 billion years ago, according to some scientists. And now we are at the fourth and last corner of the pyramid. The role of astronomy in ancient Egypt. From 2,000 to 5,000 years ago, Egypt flourished as one of the world's greatest civilizations, known for its colossal architecture, advanced agriculture, mathematics, surgical medicine, written records, inscriptions, and previous surveying papyrus documents reveal that ancient Egyptians had extensive astronomical knowledge. Egyptian astronomers devised an accurate 12-month calendar of 30 days each, with 5 extra days at the end of the year based on the seasonal rising of certain stars. Seasons were marked not by equinox or solstice, but by the annual cycle of the Nile River. The new year began with the flood season, which coincided with the first appearance of the star Sirius. This calendar had a great influence on agriculture, when to plant and harvest. In Egyptian culture, the Milky Way galaxy represented the Nile River. And I kind of can see a Milky Way candy bar there too. Mars, the Roman god of war. Gravity on Mars is 0.38 times what it is on Earth, which is the same as Mercury. Although Mars is larger than Mercury, it is less dense, therefore it has a weaker gravitational pull for its size. And if you weigh 125 pounds on Earth, you weigh 47.4 pounds in Mars. And the average temperature is minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which I've lived through minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but don't want it as my regular temperature. Mars has a dusty surface marked with valleys, ancient volcanoes, sand dunes, and polar ice caps. Check out this photo of Mars' surface taken from the Perseverance rover. Earth, the ground in Old English and German. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you weigh 100 pounds on Earth. However, the moon is a quarter of the size of Earth, so its gravitational pull is very weak. And if you weigh 100 pounds here, you weigh 16.6 pounds on the moon. Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Venus is slightly smaller than Earth, so its gravitational pull is slightly less. Gravity on Venus is 0.90 times what it is on Earth, so your weight would be almost the same if you could tolerate its atmosphere. If you were 125 pounds here, you weigh 113 pounds in Venus. The average temperature on Venus is 880 degrees. Oh my, no thank you. Venus has a very dense atmosphere that exerts a crushing pressure 93 times greater than the Earth's. Mercury, messenger of the Roman gods. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system, so its gravitational pull is the least intense. Gravity on Mercury is only 0.38 times what it is on Earth. You would weigh less than half your weight. So if you're 175 pounds, you weigh 66.2 pounds. And the average temperature in Mercury is 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Mercury's sunny side is extremely hot, while its shady side is very cold. Because it spins so slowly, it has almost no atmosphere to hold heat. Mercury has an extreme temperature range from minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Ugh. So here is the sundial. Yep, it has the months and the numbers and all that fun stuff. It is very windy and cold. We're headed to the parking lot. The compass rose, which is this spinny thing I've been showing you, has appeared on charts and maps since the Roman era to indicate the cardinal directions. It is still used on maps today and most of our navigation systems, including nautical charts and GPS. Each point represents a different direction. On ships, young apprentices had to memorize 32 directions in the process called boxing the compass. The sun, the center of our solar system and beginning of the planetary trail. So in other words, we went backwards. But anyhow, the sun is very hot, and at the sun, we're going to say this is a great park to come to. And if you liked our video, hit that thumbs up. Consider sharing it out. And remember, if you have to use a rollator, cane, walking stick, whatever to help you get out, live life to its fullest, it's not making you handicapped, it's making you handy capable. Thank you all for joining us. God bless.